Okay, it looks like we are back on the main channel. Leslie Pro and Sick Nasty have had the same hiccup hit them, so they're going to be stalled out until we can patch that up.
We'll be back momentarily, with Jetters now getting his flute and his flips. Ooh, Jetter's actually taking that opportunity and heading over to the hobo right now.
I mean, Jedris has been saving up that Zora money, so you might as well hit it up.
Oh yeah, close to 1,000 rupees. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in heading there myself.
Meanwhile, it looks like Sick Nasty activated the flute and is now doing that same Zora direction. Leslie Pro heads over to Ice Rod Cave and finds Ether.
Very nice. Oh, and that was actually the Moon Pearl on a hobo. Very nice find for Jetters, and Sick Nasty just about to do the same. Good old Simo giving us the national anthem.
And Jetter is taking a small shopping trip that doubles as a refill. It's going to be pretty well stocked on bombs and arrows, and when you're playing Swordless, that's a little more important.
Ooh, Mushroom only giving us a heart piece, but Sick Nasty picking that up, going on the assumption that he's not going to need the powder glitch. But quickly realizing that without any glove, you can't quite pick up that rock.
Yeah, we are still a little bit away from accessing the Dark World, despite all of the lovely items that we do currently have. We do have the majority of Death Mountain available now, so that might be a worthwhile peek. Simo is gonna water walk.
I mean, when you got the flips, you just gotta show about what you can.
All that money saving and farming, and Zora just spits up some blueberries.
Most expensive pie making ever. Now, the one thing I can't remember with Swordless is the entrance to Aga Tower still locked, or do you actually need that cave?
It is still locked. The curtain at the end no longer exists, but you do need either the cape or the hammer to get through. So our runners cannot currently reach Aga without either of those, and logically the lamp.
Gotcha, gotcha. And
But of
thankfully,
course,
so far,
the Sig Nasty's over here showing us that logic need not apply, getting the old man out of the dark.
hey, you gotta help out old guys when you can. We'll see what we get as the reward.
$20.
A little bit of allowance. Not bad. Ooh, Sick Nasty gonna go ahead and check out Spectacle Rock for us.
Yeah, I do like this route.
Yep, lets us see that we got a blue boomerang on top, and just 20 bucks inside.
Now, personally, I probably would have just jumped in anyway, because there's the hint tile. Yeah, as Sick Nasty is doing. So even if the item is useless, well, you get some intel.
Unless, of course, we end up getting that wonderful joke hint, but let's see what we get.
It's a joke hint! I mean, not really, but yes.
Yeah, practically. Not as bad as today's earlier hint where people found silvers in the Eastern Palace chest just before the hint, and then a hint telling them that silvers were in Eastern Palace.
The hint system just wants to make sure you got it.
Right? It's looking out for us. It's good guy hint tile.
So now that we're kind of running out of locations to be hitting up Paradox with 7 items, good chance of something of value. But 0 for 2 so far.
Let's see if we can get something decent up here.
Sick Nasty throwing that last bomb to get up. Hit that switch, find what would be the Master Sword. And still is the Power Glove.
Ooh, Power Glove. Now that's a fun one, because basically this doesn't open up much. Well, honestly, I don't think it opens up anything.
Not on its own, no.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Back of Escape is not yet in logic. And depending on key placement, may require a glove.
Mm-hmm. But thank you for pointing that out, chat. Definitely a wise idea for Jetters there to get that fairy. And, uh-oh, Simo getting stuck in those rocks.
Leslie is making that Back of Escape play, spending another bomb that they didn't actually have to.
Funny thing about certain walls, you can dash into them.
Well, there's the powder.
Ooh, okay. Well, no one has to worry about doing fake powder anymore.
And yeah, that's the hammer in Spiral Cave.
Oh my.
So that is why we have Sick Nasty over in the Dark World. Because you can do that now.
Rip Aga. Well, I mean, not yet. He's gonna stay alive. So,
Yeah,
Rip?
it's basically the opposite of Rip. And there's a bow in Hype Cave. And a mirror. It's like the good old days.
I'll say. Definitely a good old 5 out of 7.
We did say our last pendant was over in Swamp. Did not catch what the 5-6 were. But this is where we're starting to really see some divergence. Leslie is heading over towards Eastern Palace area. Sick Nasty Moving over towards Village of Outcasts, Jetter's checking out Tower of Hera. Might be about to get stuck if this is a small key.
Ooh. Yep. Other than just having the good boomerang, not much to do.
Yeah, and that hint that a unique item requires a bomb, I think Sick Nasty found 2 candidates in one spot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, seeing as how it was the bow in the mirror, that's a good find.
This digging game, on the other hand,
Oof. Going on 30 digs just for 10 arrows.
Jetter's is going to hop into the Dark World from the top of the village. We'll actually be able to make those checks.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. Misery Mire and Skull Woods are 5-6.
Yes, again, Skullwoods does not require a sword to cut down the vines in the back. We have removed them for your convenience.
Still kind of need that fire rod, though.
Well, I didn't say everything would be convenient.
I mean, if it were too easy, where'd be the fun in that? Oh, a smart play for Sick Nasty here. Heading over to Pod, gonna do that Pod Eastern Palace double.
Yep, holding onto that hammer and that bow, gonna be able to knock them both out. We'll have to do some dark rooms, but these are not the nastiest ones out there.
Good pun, by the way.
It was so good, I didn't even realize it.
So good, you didn't even know. Those are the best kind. Ah, Jetter's going with that Death Warp. Gotta love it. And so far, nothing of interest in Eastern, so not a lot for poor Leslie.
Now they're gonna have to make that move back up the mountain if they're gonna have any luck. Although it's looking like an Agina play first. Which, to be fair, we don't yet know what's on the desert ledge, so we don't know if there's anything of interest in that direction.
Could be a good play. Yeah, it's always good to go ahead and get the fart cave out of the way. Funny bit of information. That old guy back there, everyone's favorite man, if you speak to him, he actually gives you a random story, and I believe they're about fun.
Oh, I did not know there were multiple. I only talked to him once and got the one story and was like, oh, good joke, and then never talked to him again.
Yep, that's why I dub it the fart cave, because he speaks about why all the people in the desert are doing jazz hands. Says that one time he farted so bad, it scared everyone away. And speaking of being scared away, we got a Nice hint for the graveyard ledge, just with a piece of heart, so not gonna have to worry about that one.
And Leslie remains scared away from Spiral Cave, but not scared about the escape sequence. So we're going to see a dip into the castle.
Hey, that might actually be some good.
Now, the worst thing it could be is the cape, because they might find themselves inclined to go do Aga.
Oh yeah, that'd be bad.
Yes, logically they would also need lamp, but who knows? Maybe they'll give it a go regardless.
Who needs logic?
Just make that as the tagline for Link to the Past Randomizer Racing.
Logic? What logic? And speaking of no logic, we've got 2 people in Thieves Town already, where Sick Nasty is finishing up Pod. So now it's gonna be, whoop, air Fire Rod with Sick Nasty. That was the good play.
Yeah, and ironically means you can clean up this dark room and actually have some light.
Which will
Yeah,
be fun in the next version, by the way, because Dark Rooms will actually play in logic with that fire.
I assume that's limited to the ones that have torches in them.
Oh yes, of course. And speaking of fire, we've got our Ring of Fire, Bombos, with Simo up there in Thieves. Just a big old heart and Zelda's cell, so nothing too interesting for poor Leslie yet.
Honestly, they're looking a little confused. I don't know if they realize they skipped Spiral Cave, or that that's up there inaccessible right now.
Leslie needs your power. Send those thoughts. Pretty good navigation for Sick Nasty on that dark maze room. Typically easier with the hook shot, but he goes all out and gives us the hammer strat.
Well, I mean, in Swordless, your hammer is going to be your main weapon. Uh, is that a Cane of Samaria in pod?
Oh yes, that it was. So we are just an ice rod away, unless that's what was picked
Signassi
up.
found the ice rod in pod.
Oh my goodness, all 3 Turtle Rock items in pod. Woof. This is gonna be one heck of a run.
So, like, how many? There's 5 item chests in pod.
There are indeed, so 3 out of those 5 were actually useful. That is insane.
Well, one of them was half magic, so 4 out of the 5 were unique items. There's
Oh,
French vanilla mitts over in Thieves Town.
hot diggity daffodil. It's like they're wanting them to go to Turtle Rock early. And Chad does make a good point. Aside from knowing which medallion we need for the 2 dungeons and lamp, we're almost in go mode.
Well, certainly we're almost in no mode. You will have to go to Pod and Thieves Town at minimum. Then wherever the lamp is, and honestly, this is Swordless, wherever the silvers are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Leslie is definitely convinced they hit the spiral cave or they have forgotten it exists. Either way, they're already starting to retrace steps.
Spiral cave. Spiral cave. That is also one reason why I never leave home without a map track. And speaking of tracking items, I think that was actually the third sword location in the big chest for thieves.
Indeed, it was. So, if this were a regular sword filled seed, it would be pretty sword filled. We would be on
Oh
tempered
yes.
already.
And man, I decided to blink and miss the fight. Sick Nasty has gotten Helmasaur down.
Simo struggled a little bit for the blind script. It is quite a bit harder when you're having to do it with your hammer.
I'm one of those weirdos that finds it easier with a hammer instead of a cane.
Well, certainly if you have the options, I'm kind of with you. There's less prediction going on with the hammer, but Jetters and Simo, they haven't been to pod yet, so this is what they got to work with.
Hey, not bad. I mean, hammer blind, chain blind, not the easiest, but kudos to them for being able to take her down.
So Sick Nasty is going to get their second crystal pretty quickly off of this. Jetters and Simo probably going to do a little bit of roaming around before they make it to Hype Cave, but they'll be able to do the same 1-2 punch once they get over to that side.
Yep. And quick note, the reason why Jetters is deciding to hammer those pegs isn't because he's forgotten about the boots. Since Swordless is basically the sin of all, it does not allow you to item dash.
And really, that is the worst thing about Swordless.
Yeah, nothing worse than having the seed taunt you with early boots and saying, haha, you can't do nothing.
Now, Jetters does have Titan's Mitts, so we'll be doing this digging game, then going back up and picking up Jeremiah, taking him on a little tour, which might end up being a longer one once they grab that mirror, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. And I'm hoping he doesn't decide to pop over to Graveyard Ledge, because with the myths like that, you can go ahead and do King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge at the same time. We just happen to know that Graveyard Ledge is nothing. Jetters, unfortunately, isn't privy to that information yet.
Yeah, and at this point, there's a fair chance that King's Tomb doesn't even have anything, because we've seen most of what we want.
Ooh, Leslie almost getting to the right area. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. And he's in! Alright, Leslie is going to be finding their hammer very shortly and join the rest of their runners in the Dark World and hopefully play a little bit of catch-up.
Well, I suppose the one bit of good news here is that as long as you're going towards crystals, there isn't really a bad route. right now. Sure, Signesti has more items, but still has to go over and do the village stuff anyway.
Exactly. Poor Leslie showing us a little bit of frustration there, bonking into the chest a couple of times. Don't blame him.
And Simo decides to head over to the pyramid with Frog in tow rather than use the mirror they just picked up.
Very interesting
Jetters
play.
Jetters might be I don't know what Jetters is doing.
Yeah, I don't think Jetters knows what Jetters is doing. There you go. I think he's going to be fluting back. Yep, he's fluting back. That's the fun thing with
Jeez.
so many variations of Rando. Jetters is actually a really decent cross-key player, and he's been in the tournament lately, doing pretty well there, so he's probably just brushing that out of his mind, saying, oh wait, this isn't cross-keys. Do gotta give it up to Sick Nasty, though, with the really good routing plays. Since he's got the Fire Rod, he's going to be able to do that Thieves Town Skull Woods play right after each other. And after finding the Titan's Mitts, I would not be surprised if he decided to go to Ice Palace.
Honestly, I'm with you on that. And then probably head to Meyer, T-Rock, probably in that order. And as long as medallions cooperate, just keep going. For all we know, Signasty could have everything they need to finish the seed right now.
Very true. Well, since everyone's playing a little bit of catch-up, now is the time to speculate. What are we going to find where?
Well, I was saying before the race that I always expect our runners to be cursed in one way or another, so I was kind of figuring an important item on left side Pendant Swamp. We do have a Pendant Swamp, and we are missing one medallion that might be necessary.
Ooh, and all of the clearable items for Swamp were not Darkroom locked, so you know, that could be like...
It very well could be. Or it could be silvers. Again, silvers are only logically required for the Ganon fight, so they could be in literally any item. Except for that one chest in Skull Woods that has to be a key, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The devs kind of get a little picky with that one, you know, soft locking and all.
Chat asking how many runners are practiced at Silverless Hammer Ganon. Unfortunately, we don't allow actual wizards in these races, so the number is probably low. Unlike with Aga, you can't exactly use a bug net to get more frames to work with. You have just that extremely small window. And we have Sick Nasty heading down to face Mothula. Still has the old-fashioned spike damage canceling thing to deal with, but at least you can't knock him into the spikes with your sword. Just do it with a fire rod instead. That half magic is going to be plenty helpful. Give you a lot of wiggle room on missing shots. Not that Sick Nasty really needed it.
Ooh, was that the cape on Mothula?
That is the cape on Mothula. Now we can fight Aga.
Yay! Everyone's hopes and dreams. Looks like Sick Nasty was just having second thoughts about heading back in for that last chest. Did he get the second item already?
I honestly did not get a full count, so I'm not sure, but I assume Sick Nasty has the count in their head and is comfortable leaving it behind.
Sounds good to me. Now, let's see if he's going to check out Bumper Ledge or if it's a straight shot at Thieves Town.
Shot is looking pretty straight right now.
Another downside to not having the item dash. Have to pick up those bits of grass one by one. Yep, now Simo does have to be careful there not to die. He's only got 2 hearts left. Oh, yeah, he's got a blue potion. He's fine.
Could also decide to set up for a death warp at this big chest. I mean, you got mirror, so not a big deal, but Leslie though, gotta be a little safer. Stemo's gonna take the heal as well. With a dark maze, that's fair.
Do gotta give these guys props for being able to run through the dark maze with that lamp. I mean, it took me a while to get it memorized, but ooh.
Honestly, I'm still not there. I would need a lamp.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if our assumption is correct that Pendant Swamp happens to have that lamp for us, because I can see a lot of runners actually foregoing that. Most of these guys are pretty comfortable in dark rooms, and as long as they've practiced the Misery Mire dark room, that's basically the only...
Yeah, that is proven to be the case. Everyone's just handling these dark rooms like a champ. It's also, honestly, it's possible there's lamp in T-Rock.
Oh, very true. As long as it's prior to the laser bridge, you could get your lamp up there.
Which means that being able to do the dark rooms down here in Pod is actually a huge time save. We saw the ice rod is in the dark basement area, so if lamp is in T-Rock, that's a logical double dip that our runners are just avoiding.
Oh, that would just be the most evil of evil things. Leslie Pro finishing up their blind fight very well, getting their first crystal.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jetters is heading over to take care of Helmasaur, and we'll get there second with the third quickly in tow. And Simo is not that far behind.
And with Sick Nasty picking up that glove, aside from Silver's, he's in what I like to call FOMO.
Yeah, this would be a very bold go mode move to actually play like you're in go mode, but you basically got everything.
Yep, that's really hoping that Silvers are somewhere in GT. But if that happens to be the plan, then anyone that's got the gutzpah to do it, then yeah, gutzpah, the guts.
Really though, silvers, they just have to be on your route somewhere. Because with the dungeons we have left, we are still going to be opening chests, looking at least for big keys. On Turtle Rock, rather, go mode and full clear is very similar.
And I can guarantee most of these guys are really hoping to find Silvers before Vid. Because Vidi Hammer strats, it's not fun.
Nah.
Oh, and our wonderful tracker pointing out that our last sword of the seed was on the powder bat.
So yeah, if this wasn't swordless, this would have been some fast butter.
And everything is better with butter. Ooh, very nice cane strats with Sick Nasty there, picking up the 4th crystal. Now, this is going to be the fun guess. Which direction?
But no, Sick Nasty is going to make the Mire move.
Ooh, very interesting. I mean, that's not too bad a check, especially if you want to go ahead and just dip into desert. You've got 2 in Mire Shed, 1 on checkerboard, 2 in desert, and 1 on the ledge. Well, that's what I mean. No one's actually checked the desert ledge.
I think Leslie looked at it, but I don't remember what it was. And
I
it's
don't think it was anything good.
Bombos
Ooh.
for the access, so everybody can get in.
Nice, that's 1 out of the way. So we've got a 66% chance of having what we need to finish up for the medallion. Kind of wonder what's going through Sick Nasty's head right now, though. I mean, do you go ahead and just risk it all, go with the go mode, and try to make this a sub-9? Or do you stick with it, try to find that lamp in silver?
Honestly, it's hard to say what they're going to go with. I know I would still be hunting for silvers at bare minimum. But I don't know how confident Sick Nasty is feeling.
I'm just sitting at the edge of my seat waiting. This is exciting.
Oh, and to make it worse, it's Godmire. There's your big key right there.
That's even more tempting. Well, what's he gonna do? Ah, he's going for it.
Going for it.
Oh man, this is gonna be really exciting to see if it pays off. Simo finishing up their Armos fight, getting the third. With Jetter's slowly behind. And looks like Leslie is just finishing up the right side of Pod. Oh, and Simo popping right into Meyer. This is gonna be interesting.
See if Simo has the same strats when it comes to seeing the Godmire, and do you go? Do you sweep for the silvers?
Well, honestly, with our 4 restreamers, I could see it happening with all 4 of them.
Oh, Simo is going to bail.
Oh, I'm not even gonna dip into... Oh, yeah.
Into T-Rock?
Oh, I'm wondering if he's gonna be checking to see if T-Rock's Ether or Bombos.
Yeah, get that green light.
Yep. And truth be told, T-Rock's Dark Room is a whole lot easier than Misery Mine. I mean, Sick Nasty goes through that Dark Room like it's nothing. But he's going into Vidi with just 2 hearts, so that's gonna be painful.
Ooh, 2 hearts and no goo.
So it's 1 hit and good night, Irene. Whoops.
And good night, Irene.
Well, don't worry, folks. If you missed the Dark Room Misery Mire play, you're about to see it again.
We see nothing of value in checkerboard. And Ether is T-Rock. So that's a little bit of trouble for Jetters.
Yep, he's gonna have to go check out that Ice Rod Cave before getting T-Rock access. But we are close.
Yep, this means if you're willing to do a swordless, silverless Ganon, you're in go mode.
Ooh, glad no one decided to pick up a chance to go to Turtle Rock early. First chest being small key, and right side probably gonna be the big. Yeah, and a bit of info for chat there. You can actually do Silverless Ganon with Swordless mode, but as our tracker is pointing out, it is extremely difficult because you have to make sure to hit him just in the same time frame that you would do a normal Master Sword spin slash.
Yeah, you don't get any of the buffer that if you were doing normal silverless with a tempered sword or whatnot, you do a spin and you're actually doing damage for quite a long time. Here, not so much.
Oh yeah, I think it's like about an eighth of the time that you get between the two weapons.
And we see the hint in Desert that Quake sits with a great fairy, if I read that correctly, so
Mm.
that's in the pyramid.
Well, an interesting move for Jetters to be popping into Desert.
Might be seeing if he can gather up the items without having to take on the boss, and just clear out some possibilities for where Silvers might be.
That would be nice. Fortunately, just 10 arrows in the first spot. Oh, and just a heart piece or a heart container in the other. So,
But
no progression for what we're wanting.
that is all the items without having to take care of the boss. So that's Desert done as far as Jetter is concerned.
Yep. The only hope is that Sassy Pants does not happen to have anything. Jetters is popping into Misery Mire. My only hope is that he doesn't bank on Turtle Rock being Quake. Ooh, Sick Nasty's got to be careful. One more hit to go and only one arrow. So we're either going to have to do hammer strats or bomb strats for this part.
It's looking like
And,
Hammer's going to be the play.
ooh, either one of those are nasty. Bomb's not doing a whole lot of damage, and Hammer with a very, very small hitbox. Oh, he gets through the small eyes. Let's see what we can do with the big one.
It's a bit more comfortable to try to take it from the side, but not comfortable enough. It's still Hammer Viddy.
Oh yeah, that big old bouncy ball just, oof, it hits hard.
And Sick Nasty is just going to bail. Might go get some potions and come back. Might figure out a different strat. We'll see.
Definitely a good idea to get some potions.
Going to dip into ice. This is another one that I would want a
Ooh.
potion.
Very true. You know, that is kind of a gutsy play. I mean, if silvers are here, then that's going to make the Viddy fight so much easier.
And we see the green pendant is not of value, so Jetter's made a good move to dip out of Desert when they did. You also might
Yeah.
have seen that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, triple boom are not that good, especially when it's so hard to get.
Yeah. And I was just going to point out the little Bombos pedestal platform thing in Ice Palace. You don't have a sword, so you can't exactly cast magic, except right there. You can cast Bombos, so that Ice Palace logic remains the same.
Thank you, Rando devs. Oh, and it looks like Jetters is actually going to be full clearing Mire. Very interesting.
Well, we know Jetters is not in go mode thanks to medallions, but also still looking for those silvers.
Oh, and I think Leslie dipped out a pod early. Didn't want to finish up the dark room, so only got the fire rod. Didn't get the ice rod or the cane.
Oof.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah. Also, makes me really curious where that lamp is at this point.
Yeah, since
It's got
we've
to be in
ruled
swamp.
out, yeah, it's gotta be. Oh, wait. We had the fire rod in a lighted area. It could be Tower of Hera's basement.
Well, upper Tower of Hera, because the upper part is fire locked.
Oh, that's right. So it'd have to be
But no, you're right in that none none of the pendant dungeons have dark rooms. I'll just say that.
Ooh. Oh, how evil would it be to have lamp on pedestal?
No, Mirror was in Hype Cave.
Yeah.
So mirror flippers, hookshot, fire rod, both gloves, and flutes.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was accessible without dark rooms.
Yarp. So far,
That's
the only thing that was found in Darkroom access was the Ice Rod and the King Samaria. And Powder, I believe. Nope, just Ice Rod and Cane.
that is still a lot of items to be able to find without having to do dark rooms, or even in a chain, like finding something in a dark room that leads to something of importance. Like that's a
Well, I guess
good
our
number.
theory just died. Thank you, Ice Palace.
Or it's in Ice Palace.
Well, at least Sick and Nasty doesn't have to worry about doing dark rooms anymore.
That also does mean that Jetters has wasted all this time over in Mire, trying to find silvers or the lamp and getting neither.
Oof. Well,
Did
hopefully
manage
he'll fare better.
did manage a nice little fake powder though, so props there.
Indeed. Oh, and Leslie Pro finishing up their second crystal. Very nice. Looks like Simo is just about to head over to Trinix.
The Bombo symbol in Ice Palace, that is to retain the logic with Freezors. You can kill them with Fire Rod or with Bombos, but to cast magic, you need a sword. So in Swordless, you don't really cast magic except for those spots where it's designated you're able to. And so there's a designated spot added.
Exactly.
So otherwise, you would need multiple versions of the logic, and y'all know how we feel about logic here. Why have more of it when you could have less?
Because less is more. Getting to play a little bit of menu simulator over at the Trinix. Ooh, and that cold head just showing that it's evil.
Yeah, that is a lot of ice on the ground to now have to deal with. And again, all of our runners are on green mail.
Yeah, so one hug from T-Rex here is gonna be night-night. Ooh, but Simo pulls it off.
And Leslie finds the silvers. They're over in King's Tomb.
Ooh, hot diggity.
So you know how I was saying earlier that it's good that they're being pushed away from Graveyard Ledge, because when is there ever anything in King's Tomb? And you know how I also said that I'm constantly wrong?
Gotta love that curse. Well, with Leslie heading into Ice Palace now, they're gonna find their lamp and be very happy about that.
Yeah, they're gonna have a much easier time with the remainder of this. Picking up that lamp, I expect they will go do the two-shot Eastern and Pod. That will get them the remaining items they need for go mode, and then just go.
Yarp yarp. And it looks like Judders was able to go ahead and get through the dark room okay, and now they're at Vidi with I believe, 1 or 2 backup fairies.
Yeah, that little time spent with the fake powder is probably going to pay off. Because it isn't just one tap, and Jetters is down.
Oh, and Sick Nasty picking up the 5th crystal. Nice. With Ice Palace down, it's just the Misery Mire and Trinix fight.
So Nasty taking some time to get the arrow upgrade / refill. Jetters showing why Sick Nasty is catching a few fairies.
Alright, little tiny eyeballs are down. Now it's time for the begin. And with 12 arrows, this should be simple as pie. And down goes Vidi. Now Jetter's on track with Simo, 4 for 4. Now for the fun part. Who's gonna get ahead now with the slight bit of dungeon difference?
And another interesting question is, who's going to be the second one to find the silvers after Leslie?
Yeah,
Because we
the
now-
race is on.
Yeah, because we now know those silvers are not on anyone's critical path.
I guess that really did work out in Leslie's favor, though, since he's the only one that didn't finish up Pod while he was in there. He never got that hint. That, or he just completely ignored it.
Well, it did go to Kingstone, but didn't go to Graveyard Ledge and didn't set it up to try and do so. So, I don't know.
Oh, well, good play on Leslie's call. Got that galaxy brain going.
Yeah, that's one of those little things that I do honestly really enjoy about randomizers. Sometimes you can fumble around, make a poor decision, and just happen to work out well, regardless. You know, sometimes you can flub a bit of execution that you're normally just solid on, and it didn't matter.
The rando gods do smile down upon us today. Ah, Sick Nasty back with the round 2 of Vidi. Ooh, and Zemo taking that death. But I think it might have been intentional. Jetter's finishing up the Mothula fight and getting their cape. That secures their 5th crystal, so they are uh, back ahead of Simo, and only on par with Sick for about 4 seconds. Because Sick Nasty finished that Viddy fight, and he's got his 6th crystal, so off to Turtle Rock. Oh, sorry. Skullwood, not Swampwoods.
I feel like everybody does that.
Got a running gag with another rando friend of mine. When I introduced them, they got the two mixed up, so now it's eternally called Swamp Woods and Skull Palace.
Honestly, Skull Palace sounds way cooler.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds like something out of a Superman comic.
I think everybody would enjoy that dungeon a lot better if it was called Skull Palace.
Tower of Town, I like that one.
Thieves, Hera. It kind of sounds cool. We'll go ahead and try mixing up some more awesome dungeon names.
There's our next randomizer. Just randomize the names of the dungeons.
Oh, and Leslie finishing up that Cold Star fight, getting their literature. And the 3rd crystal.
Sick Nasty's gonna take a little bit of time to explore Hookshot Cave and probably Super Bunny just to try and find those silvers. Getting
Oh,
some
our
blue
first
mail
armor
instead.
upgrade.
It's about bloody time.
Right? An hour and 10 minutes in, we finally have blue mail. And not a bad idea for Seema to go ahead and start farming up some of that life. Definitely a wise thing with this upcoming Viddy fight. Oh,
Oof.
and that fireball. Just not playing nice. Oh, going to bomb strats first. Not bad.
I have a
Leslie...
feel.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say I have a feeling Simo is probably heading to Ice Palace after this and going to buy those upgrades, and those will give him a refill on supplies. So you might as well spend everything.
Very true. And with Leslie dipping into Pod, they're going to be finding their Ice Rod and Canis Maria pretty shortly. And Jetters is going to be finding their lamp very shortly as well. Yeah, you gotta time those bombs just right. Well, he's giving up that and going with the hammer strap. He's gotta be super careful though.
Yeah, saving those last couple arrows for the big eye, I'm guessing.
Smart move. Yeah, once you've killed all of the little friends, Viddy kind of gets upset with that. And Viddy is down, giving Simo the 5th crystal. Oh, and that was a bee in a bottle for that last chest in the iced tea room. Now, funny enough, that's one
Yeah.
thing that I always end up forgetting. Technically, there are two bomb jump spots in Ice Palace. First, of course, we know is the notorious Ice Bomb Room. The second is that room just to the right of the Iced Tea Room. Not a lot of people do it, but you can bomb jump to avoid having to mess with that icy floor.
Yeah, well, in that case, I suppose there's three, because there's also the room right above that you are meant to hook shot across, but it is theoretically possible to bomb jump that and avoid needing the hook shot to clear Ice Palace.
Oh, that's right.
It's pretty tricky though. It's a pretty specific angle.
Oh yeah, that one is not a fun one to get down. But props to anyone that actually learns it and does it well. Let's see, we've got Simo finishing up the last bit of Skullwood. Gonna be starting their Mothula fight shortly, where Jetters is heading down to meet Cold Stare and say hello.
Yeah, this is one where you use that Bombos tablet even if you've got the Fire Rod available to you, because it's just way less magic.
Oh yeah. And Leslie showing quick work out of that Helmasaur with those silvers. Oof. Gotta love those weapons. And goodness gracious, Jetters did the same. I didn't even see that fight.
So that makes 4 crystals for Leslie. Jetter's up to number 6. Simo about to hit number 6 as well.
And Sick Nasty about to be disappointed. Oh, Simo going right out of the gate with the hammer strats. Pretty gutsy.
Jetters, meanwhile, using that quick knowledge, going to head over to the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, not fun. He is going to be sorely disappointed to find out that it's not Quake on Turtle Rock. Ooh, a nice fight for Simo, just barely getting out of the damage. But taking Mothula down.
And the only way this would be good for Jetters is if he does a bit of overworld exploration after Pyramid Fairy, but I really don't expect that to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a tricky situation for him.
It might push him. Well, my expectation is Jetters is going to go up to Turtle Rock, find out that it's not Quake, find out that it's Ether, do Hookshot Cave, do Super Bunny, find that Ether's not there because it's down in Ice Rod Cave, and then start exploring the overworld. And
Yep.
might start with King's Tomb before Ice Rod.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So he may be in luck with that one. Oh, and he's gonna get red mail? Because that was our blue in the fairy pyramid. Oh, he hasn't done Uncle yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he skipped a lot of the early game. 'Cause yeah, Jetters made that early Eastern play that we were all kind of scratching our heads about. So has been a little out of sync with the other runners on the beginning. Might be thinking it's like coming back to bite him now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, looks like Leslie just finished up Eastern and is now heading over to mine. They're gonna bulldoze through that pretty quick and get their 6th crystal. Simo gonna finish up Ice Palace and be happy to find that wonderful lantern. Fortunately, the bombs are not being nice to him and just closing off his path.
Yeah, for Leslie, this will be a pure, complete, no questions asked, 100% Godmire.
Oh,
There is no
very
reason
true.
not to go mode.
Especially with those silver arrows. Oof. Oh, and Jetter's given up on the escape sequence. Oh, wait. No, I think he's calling the bird? Yeah. Where is he gonna go?
Just gonna make the push for T-Rock. Gonna see what it is.
Ooh, it's gonna be an interesting thing to see what he does. Oh, poor Simo gets the bomb jump, but accidentally hits himself right off the side. But he gets it again.
Yeah, once you learn how to do it without a sword, you're at the point that you can do it pretty consistently.
Indeed. Oh, and Signasty getting that last crystal. You know what time it is.
Yep, there are 22 chests in the Ganon's Tower basement where that big key could be. Get your number in chat as to where you think it's gonna land.
I, of course, always go with my wonderful number 13.
You know, I've picked that on occasion, but I'm gonna say 7.
One lucky, one unlucky. Let's see what happens. All right,
Number
we've got
1,
300
$300
bucks.
bucks. $300 bucks.
Ooh. Well, I mean, if you need extra money now to restock, there it is.
Number 3, $20 bucks.
Ooh, Jetter's picking up that red mail, looking snazzy. Oh, and Simo definitely wanting to restock that house. But looks like he's taken down Cold Stare. Getting his last crystal.
Number 4, small key. Number 5, $100 bucks. Number 6, small key. Number 7, big key. How did I guess
Ooh,
it right?
very nice. It's that commentator's curse.
Well, looks like Sick Nasty's just gonna go for it.
Ooh, that's a
Maybe.
bold strategy, Con. Yeah, that was a good arrow find. Kind of need those to get through these mimic areas.
Well, I suppose we can split the difference. Itsu guessing 8 and Cataclysm guessing 6. Good job to both of you.
I gotta give props to the person that followed Sick Nasty. He deserves.
Yeah, seriously though, if you do enjoy seeing these runners and seeing the kind of shenanigans they put themselves through, always encourage you to give them a follow.
Definitely. It's the joy of rando running is it's all on their time and it's all free of charge, so feel free to drop by, check them out, see a lot of their cool nonsense. It's great. Well, here are more of those overworld checks. Jetters did pick up the silver in King's Tomb, so he's gonna be fine there.
Yeah, but still has to get over to Ice Rod Cave to find Ether. And that's not the direction Ice Rod Cave is in.
Nope. Simo did pop into Hookshot Cave and picked up that blue mail, so he should be a little bit more comfortable making the climb up through Ganon's Tower. Oh goodness, yeah, I didn't even notice. I looked away and Leslie already finished Misery.
And Sick Nasty getting plenty of arrow drops now after the Mimic Rooms when you don't necessarily need them.
Yeah, just taunting him more and more of those arrow drops. Getting more of that money. And sadly, Simo does not have the silvers either, so I don't think they're going to be fighting Ganon without him. Or, sorry, with them.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see one or the other go for that hint play. Just take the Ganon fight up until he tells you where they might be, and maybe take a few swings at doing it without. But I don't know. I would bail and go for him.
Oh yeah, especially with hammer strats. That's, oof, painfully difficult. Now the fun part is, since it was in the light world, all we're gonna get is that hint saying, hey, did you find the silvers in the light world? And that's a lot of stuff, especially with tablets and a lot of fetch quests.
Yeah, I know. A bunch of our runners started the Smith chain, having picked up Jeremiah, but I don't know that many of them did the second half.
Now, we did get that hint saying that the lunchbox wasn't carrying anything special, so we're actually good in that regard, but I'm not sure if any of them either remember it or bothered to check.
Yeah, I don't remember who saw it. Probably enough runners that yeah, they're not worried. Uh, Also leaves me wondering: is Pedestal considered in Light World?
I believe it is.
So yeah, we know that. Obviously, we know that's not the case, but that can certainly bring up a pang of anxiety.
Oh, yeah. We know. They don't. Oh.
Jetters, I suspect, is consulting a map or some notes at this point, trying to figure out where Ether could be.
Alright, where have I not gone yet?
Yeah, at this point, I feel like Jetters thinks they did the Ice Rod Cave already.
Oh,
I've,
there's the flute. Let's see if it goes to 8. Oh,
Oh,
nope.
nope. Yes, Jitters did the flipper checks without hitting Ice Rod Cave. So, oof. This is a swamp dip. That's also an oof.
Ooh, that's not a fun one.
But meanwhile, we do have Sick Nasty up in the geometry test. Whipped out that bug net because you can deflect shots with it, and it gives you about the same timing as a sword spin. So nice and familiar. The balls still hurt though.
Ooh, until one guy. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by Aga's balls.
Fortunately, Sick Nasty grabbed a couple fairies on the way up, so one death is not the end of the world. This is one of the worst places to take a death, though.
Oh yeah, definitely don't want to make that climb all over. Thankfully, Aga is down, so we are heading to the Big Pig, unless Sick decides to go find those silver. Oh, and thank God, Jetters decided to nope out of Swamp. Go check a few more overworld areas.
Signassi is approaching wrapping up. No clue how long it will actually be, but as always, this is a community race. There are a number of other entrants besides the four that you see on the screen, but we will not be announcing any times of anyone not on stream until someone here finishes.
Out loud, at least.
Yes, privately, internally, we're screaming, just always.
Always screaming. Ooh, and Leslie just about finishing up Trinix there. They're going to be making their GT climb here shortly. Oh, and Sick Nasty is stocked up and ready to go. We are going to see a silverless Hammer Ganon. Ooh boy.
Ooh. Somehow bouncing around a little bit trying to get to this chest. Not quite worth it.
And for those of us that are just joining, this is a swordless race. As you can tell, nobody's got swords, and that's because the devs are evil. But as such, you cannot damage Ganon normally without the sword. In this mode, you can't. Hammer is the way to go, and you can actually kill him without silvers, just like you can kill him with Master Sword spins. The tricky part is that you need to hit him just at the right time. Ah, and Jetter's finally finding Ether. Yay!
Oh, and Sick Nasty taking one death. I don't remember how many fairies they're holding on to at this point. Certainly one fewer than a moment ago.
That is the safe assumption.
Even with Blue Mail, those fire bats are brutal.
Oh yeah. It doesn't help that the hammer hitbox is so dang small that you have like maybe 2 pixels worth of safety before you accidentally hug that big pig.
So I'm having a little difficulty with the net timing. It's a little different than doing it with sword spins.
Ooh, Sick and Nasty being real careful with those hits, and that is a wise decision.
Yeah, you definitely want to just live long enough to get to that hint. Fortunately, into the next phase, so getting to that hint should be relatively easy.
Oh, and Simo getting rid of Aga too. Very nice.
Did you find the arrows in Light World?
Now for his decision. Fight with one heart. Yep, he's going for it.
Unfortunately, with this restream setup, I'm not sure if these hits are counting.
That is the question. I'm not seeing any rebound. Oof. But a big pig hug.
And Semo's heading down into the fight as well. We'll see, one, if they can make it to the hint, and two, what they do once they get it.
Yep, that was his first hit. There is a rebound. So as long as you stand in place, you're not hitting that poor dude. And that just goes to show how difficult this section is. The timing has got to be perfect.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of opportunities before that torch goes out and you have to deal with it again, which is the case with any Silverless, but you're going to be going through a lot more runs this time.
And as our wonderful chat points out, with the Master Sword spins, it does Tempered Sword slash damage, and that requires 24 spins. Since Hammer does Tempered Sword damage, that is 24 hits.
And yep, Sig Nasty is on 2.
So we very well may see Leslie come out of basically third place to take.
Yeah, Sig Nasty's just not getting these hits to connect. It is such a tiny window.
Oh yeah. And for everyone watching, this may look a whole lot easier than it is, but this is excruciatingly. Not only does every bat take a couple hearts worth of health, but you have to make sure, and it is frame perfect practically, that you hit at the exact moment that he is vulnerable. Otherwise, you either stun him or miss him.
And Simo got the hint and immediately bailed. Is not going to take the route that Sig Nasty's taken. Going to go explore that light world and find the silvers.
I don't blame him.
Sig Nasty has been making a little bit of progress. That's number 5.
And with half magic, you do get quite a lot of those lamp. And And if you can time it right, you've got 2 hammer strikes per lamp use.
There's
That's another
6.
hit.
Simo, meanwhile, I suspect is heading up to the tablet.
Yep, I think they're gonna go check out Ether and then Bombos.
Yeah, but as Chad is saying, Death Mountain does count as Death Mountain, not Light World, so this is definitely not going to be it. But hey, the tablet loves you anyway.
Good old rock love. I mean, it could be argued that the blue boomerang is the better one, but semantics.
You can argue a lot of things.
Leslie coming up on the last Aga hit, where Jetters is finishing up T-Rex.
Getting a little bopped by the ice, but Jetters does have that red mail, not as big a deal. Leslie's still on green mail, I want to point out.
You gotta give it to Leslie for being able to get up that tower without dying. Yeah, 13 hearts can give you a bit of a backup, but everything in Ganon's tower hits you for 2 or 3 hearts, and that can add up cool.
More rock love.
And Aga 2 is down, so Leslie's gonna be heading over. Now let's see if he can get through to phase 4 quickly enough to make up the difference.
Honestly, at this point, Leslie has the edge on Simo. For sure. And, unless Sick Nasty can make some strong hammer cadence happen, probably has the lead there, too.
Gonna be dipping out just to restock on health and potions. Very, very wise. Oh, no, it looks like they're just hunting down that fairy. They're gonna go for it. Eight hearts, green mail with 1 backup fairy. Possibly 2. Let's see if this plays out.
Yeah, if Leslie can make it to the tantrum, then that should be smooth sailing. It's the start of it that's going to be really scary for them. And case in point, there's 1 fairy gone.
Yeah, Sick Nasty very quickly running out of magic.
Yeah, I did lose count on the successful hits, but honestly, I would be surprised if they're at double digits. These are very difficult.
And with 1 heart left and no health backup, this may be it. Meanwhile, Leslie is getting into phase 3.
But having to deal with that. Oh, there's another death.
Ooh. Did he have a backup? He does.
Had a fairy.
Super close. Simo going the extra mile and giving us that wonderful bed check.
Did you find the arrows in Light World? Leslie was the first to do so.
Oh, it's not even the 300. That's a low blow pedestal. Oh, that's a good hit. Let's see if we can get a double. He
That's
gets
a double.
the double. There's the single. And let's see if he sets it up right. Can he do it?
Just need this last one.
Oh, just barely misses.
Oh, and Leslie takes
no.
a fall.
Gets thrown off at the last second with Sick Nasty dying just shortly behind.
Yeah, Sick Nasty has officially taken a forfeit after that honestly valiant attempt at a silverless hammer Ganon.
Yeah, I gotta give him props for hanging in there. The fact that he was able to get that many hits on is remarkable in itself.
Samo is probably in desert hunting for those silvers. Even though Light World means it's overworld and not a dungeon. Yeah, Semo might think that Sahasrarla counts as Light World.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good sign.
I actually do not know if Chat saying yes, Sahasrarla does count as Light World, so Semo's gonna make that play instead of just checking an overworld location.
That is another gutsy move.
All right. Oh,
And we do have Sick Nasty joining us.
hello.
Hey,
So-
GG, man.
Thank you. That was a lot tougher than I expected it to be.
I mean, Silverless Hammer Ganon. I expect that to be monstrously difficult.
So I've never done a swordless seed. This was my first one today, and I was sitting there talking on my stream about, will I have to do silverless? Will I have to do silverless? And once we hit that kind of go mode stage, where was I? I think I was in Thieves Town when I kind of hit go mode to do the dungeons. I was like, well, I sure hope between those 12 chests that there's some silver arrows. And then Ganon said Light World, and I was like, I'm just gonna forfeit if I can't get this hammer strat because there's no way. I have like 50 locations to check, and that would just take so long.
I gotta give you props right off the bat, man. For the fact that this was your first silverless, you did phenomenal. For the majority of the run, pretty much up to the Ganon fight, you were at least 10 minutes in the lead. And
Oh, wow, really?
It was nuts how... Oh, yeah. And it was nuts how you were able to go ahead and keep command over such a tight race.
Damn. Oh, wow. Oh, Sorry. So just out of curiosity, so I died to Vitreous 3 times. Did anybody else die to a boss a lot of times? Because he was my biggest hiccup, was Vitreous.
I think there were actually some Vidi deaths.
I believe there was one cold star death and a couple Vidi deaths.
Oh yeah, and those two are the worst because it's so far to get back to him. I see Leslie is still struggling, even with the silvers. It's just, man, it's tough. Oh, and he got it. GG's Leslie.
Oh
So-
yeah, it was, and that was actually the exciting part too, because Leslie had gotten to Ganon Phase 4 just before you had died. Ended up getting smacked off the ledge right as you died.
Man. Yeah, see, I understand the 2 pixels for Ganon. I definitely know how to do Ganon Silverless. I've done it plenty with the sword, but understanding that 2 pixel with the swing of the hammer is something I've never tried. And I got it 6 times, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to see it, and then I just couldn't. I couldn't find it again. So I'm gonna have to really practice that, but I understand it. I just really need to try it out a lot. But it was a pretty good seed though for the most part. It seemed pretty fluid. I see some people found the Cane of Burn, and I have no idea what that was. I found the shovel. No one found the magic powder. That was what I was really hoping to find, was magic powder, because
Powder
Going
was in the back
around.
of Escape.
oh, it was.
Yeah. Barely anyone
Oh.
went through Escape.
Well, yeah, I didn't think about castle at all, because when you started, you had like the hook shot and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I can't really kill anything without bombs, and I don't want to waste my bombs. I was waiting for stuff, and by the time I had the hammer, there was so much open, I just forgot about castle. I was like, nah, screw those 6 chests. I'll check them later. And yeah, I just never decided to go back there. So would it be spoily if I ask where silvers are? Or can I not ask that?
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, they are
Right.
in King's Tomb.
King's Tomb. Oh my god, it's such an easy check too. You just go to Sanctuary and go right.
Well, the funny thing is, Samo was the second one to Ganon, second one to get that hint, bailed immediately, and is still on the hunt.
Yeah, because there's so much open. When he says light world, that's anything, man. That's anything. So, man, what a cheeky place to put the silvers. And it's even cheekier too, because you see the hint that says the pose is just like bombs or a heart or something like that. So you're even less inclined to go over to the right for 1 check. Oh man, that's funny. But I'm surprised I was further ahead than that. That's really surprising. So blind was a little cheeky.
Oh yeah, it was. And
Was
we are
Blind
welcomed
not
by Leslie.
I don't know blind hammer strats, so I when I got hit twice, I was like, all right, screw it. We're using the Cadence Mario. I'm not even gonna try this. What?
Yeah,
that
I
was
gotta
fun.
give you props for sticking to it, because that was one heck of a race.
Yeah, GG's Leslie, GG's.
Thanks, GG. What really screwed that up for me was, well, every so often I'll have a brain fart on the location, and every other time that it happened in races with friends, it had been Kakariko Village. That is honestly the very first time I have ever brain farted on Spiral Cave with something there.
Oh,
were so
yeah,
worried
the
about that.
hammer.
Yeah. we were like just pulling for you because that pushed you way behind at the start.
Oh wow,
I
yeah,
having to
must-
do all that-
did.
Honestly, yeah, the fact that you got kind of sidetracked, you wound up looking at King's Tomb, just looking for something meaningful, and oh hey, there's something meaningful, and
Oh wow.
you were holding on to silvers long before anyone else was.
Oh
that
wow,
odd-
that was
so that-
literally just me sweeping the north part of the world, and I'm
So
like,
that mistake
okay.
saved me because I quit because I didn't know where the silvers were, and when Ganon said light world, I was like, screw it. That's too many places to check. So HX is about to finish here too, which is cool. So wow, so you had silvers, Leslie, at like, God, like what, 30, 40 minutes? You must have had silver or something like that?
I believe it was the 40-minute mark, yeah.
Holy
yeah, I thought it was
crap.
closer to the hour mark. What really helped me to recover from that unfortunate lapse, and there's one other part of that I'll mention later that I found a bit comical. Well, what helped is what happened is when I restarted after getting that, I'm like, wait, I'm gonna do Sanctuary. I'm like, whatever, this is fine. And I wound up coming up with bow and mirror and hype cave. So it actually was a hype cave for
Oh,
a
yeah.
change.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
Indeed.
That's what put me back on track more than anything.
Hey, and we
Man.
are joined by HXC Jetters. How's it going, buddy?
As long as we forget about Ice Rod Cave, it's going good.
Oh, yeah, because that was the Moon Pro. Oh,
Who
man.
needs ether?
Oh,
Hope,
no, sorry, that was Ether. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was
You-
about
you
to say
weren't-
Mooncore was hope.
You weren't the only one stymied by a random light world location.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so there was a reason I skipped it, and that was because, so I wanted to get bomb and arrow upgrades as soon as it was convenient, which the flippers made that very convenient because I was thinking, I don't want to do hammer victorious. So I just wanted to make sure I had a lot of bombs and some extra arrows in case I had the bow with no silvers.
You can do hammer. Oh, you can do hammer victories. Yes, you can. That's right. I
And
was like, oh.
And so then when I went and I was like, okay, I'm going to do Zora and then I'll probably go back to Ice Rod once I activate Flute. Yeah, it turns out I got Dark World access and never went back.
Ugh.
Hey, if it makes you
Man.
feel better, you were the only one that actually got red mail.
Oh,
Where
really?
was-
Where
was Red Mail?
Where were the
Hookshot.
mail upgrades?
I got Hookshot.
Pyramid Fairy and Hookshot Cave.
Pyramid Fairy. Oh, I wouldn't have
Yep.
checked that without doing Light World stuff. Yeah.
I wound up I was already in go mode, and considering what happened earlier, I decided
Oh.
to just put it. I just decided to put my foot down on the gas.
I just noticed those. You were green suit. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, green
Wow.
mail all the way. 13 hearts too. So major props to them.
Man.
Thanks. Well, my last tournament, Zyrax, who was in my group, wound up picking Swordless for a match, so I wound up doing some practice for some things that helped out in that. So, in terms of Swordless, there's experience there, even though this was more of a D-rest than anything. Thank God I didn't have to do Hammer Vitreous, or else that might have been a disaster.
Yeah, I had to do that. I tried it for the first time and then I died again. And then I was like, all right, I'll come back when I have some fairies. So,
But
Maybe just my
honestly,
hiccup.
for such a crazy swordless seed, the fact that we've got almost everyone under 2 hours finishing is pretty awesome.
oh, yeah. I would have been way over like 215. I mean, well, maybe not if I would have known Sanctuarium, but damn. Sorry.
I'm impressed
Yeah,
by
that's
that
all right. This-
collection
this
rate that I had.
deserves that.
27. Damn.
Yeah, this is my first swordless, and I have to say that I liked the pattern where I got to smash Ganon in the head repeatedly out of phase 3. Or, I mean, out of phase 2.
Very nice.
It's satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah. I have to learn his hitbox with a hammer. I think that's my biggest hiccup here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hammer hitbox is a thing.
Yeah, that's a good PG way of putting it.
Yeah, I will do left, I will do right, I will do down, but if you ask me to do an up hammer, I'm going to be very scared.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I find Helmasaur King's Phase 1 to be good practice for that, because the hammer just hits the mast. Oh, by the way, while I was running around the overworld, when I hadn't realized that I had missed Spiral Cave, I honestly thought it was at Agina, which is why you guys saw that little bomb rampage that I had. Because I thought, Agina, you dirty... Because it would not have been the first time in the past month that Agina would have had something. Turns out he just had nothing, so I wound up looking foolish. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. 'Cause looking back on it, I'm getting a good laugh.
It's
I'll
cute.
say.
Who
Oh, hey.
doesn't want to drop some bombs on that guy from time to time?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And
I think in the last 60 runs, he's had one good item for me.
if that. And sorry to interrupt, but we have got our last restreamer in here, Simo. How is it?
You know, I felt pretty good about it until I spent so long looking for the silver arrows.
Yeah.
Seems like we all got hecked up by something.
I just didn't
Oh,
want to look for the silvers. You guys did it, not me.
You
Yeah.
did the anti-hack, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was honestly a wise decision there, Simo. Going just as soon as you got that hint, just noping right on out to try and find it. Just word to the wise though, Death Mountain hints are not overworld.
Okay, so if he says it's on Death Mountain, it wouldn't be on the overworld, so I wouldn't have to look at like the ether tablet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, wait, because wasn't the Death Mountain hit today hook shot? Was that overworld, or am I crazy?
Well, no, what he means is when Ganon says like, "Did you find the silver arrows?" and such. If he says Light World, that doesn't include Death Mountain.
Oh. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's a lot of like nuances with the hint systems in general that can be helpful to learn and annoying to realize.
Oh God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was really worried it was going to end up being on Magic Bat, because I didn't have the powder.
Powder was in the back of Escape.
Yeah, you didn't miss much
What-
in that regard.
Where was
Yeah.
Cane of Burna? I see two of you got that.
I found it in a mire looking for the big key.
Oh, okay. I go moded that. That's why I didn't find that. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
I hesitated
kind-
because the silvers.
Mm-hmm.
I had go mode pretty early, but it was a struggle for me on green mail and like hammer on a lot of the bosses.
I went
Yeah.
through the whole damn thing with green mail. I never found a mail upgrade. Good thing I had a fairies and potion at the ready, and I would have finished sooner if I didn't get swatted off by Ganon on the last hit.
That was so painful to watch. That was the last shot.
Yeah, as painful as that was, it didn't cost me any places this time. I've lost tournament races to that noise.
Yeah.
In fact, I had one of my first tournament. I had a match that came down to that, and I lost because I fell off at Ganon. So yeah, that could have been at a much worse time and a much worse situation. What I am curious about is how did Zelda pull off that 72 flat? Holy smokes!
Yeah, we have not discussed the standings overall, but yeah, Zelga Disan first place, 1 hour 12 minutes flat on this seed.
Oh, wow.
Commented later that it's a 116 item collection, which
I could see
yeah.
it.
Well, that was like last week. Last week was just like an opener standard, and Bwayne finished at like an hour 15. I had just finished my 4th crystal when Bwayne finished the entire seed. I was like, what happened here?
I remember that. I was
Really
running that.
good.
Yeah,
As
that
soon
was.
as I saw that in SRL, I was like, I call shenanigans.
Because
Yeah, it was like he beeline to every correct location. It's like, what in the heck?
I could easily see it because I felt like I was on a god route, and except for like the ether and so basically if Zelga, who is way better at execution than I am, got the ether before leaving that, the Ice Rock Cave area, and then Galaxy Brained the silvers, I could definitely see it. Yeah.
Man, that was just insane to see. When I pressed done and I saw that he was done at my 4 crystal mark, it's like, oh my. Much to learn.
Yep.
Because I think I spent like 20-30 minutes looking for ether.
I spent an extra 10-15 easily because I brain farted on Spiral Cave. That's never happened before for me.
Oh, this isn't a marathon. It's okay. You don't have
Enjoy
to
my
worry
kid
about
back.
it.
It's a great face.
But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for being on the restream here. It was such a fun race just watching all you guys. Any last thoughts or comments you want to go ahead and give us? Some words of wisdom?
just dive into new seed ideas. I've been working on inverted and stuff like that, and this being my first swordless was scary. But from what you guys told me, I didn't do too bad, so I'll take that. So if you ever worry, just try it. Whoever's out there running races.
Absolutely, I'll agree with that.
So
As for me, thank you guys for doing commentary, and thanks for having me on Restream. It was much appreciated. I don't get to do as many of these as I would like to due to real-life obligations, but when I do get to do these are still a heck of a lot of fun.
and actually, for anyone out there who wants to race and stuff, I do races on Sundays with small groups of friends, aside from speed gaming. So if anybody's ever down, they're more than welcome to message and join in. So just small little thing. But
And hey, you know, these guys are awesome runners. If you want to follow, click those links in our chat.
yes.
Yep, and we can't forget to give a shout out to Tao DK and Itsudemo for taking care of tracking on this race today.
Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, wonderful job making sure that everyone got to enjoy which items were which and who had what. So kudos to everyone. Job well done.
Thank you. GG's guys, and have a good one.
Yep, you guys have a good night as well. Until next time.
Have a good night, everyone.
So with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up here on Speed Gaming 4. Just so anyone that wants to go ahead and enjoy some more of our wonderful speed gaming programming, we do have the SMB 2019 Warpless tournament going on. Just started over on the Speed Gaming Prime channel, twitch.tv/Speed Gaming. Go ahead and check it out. It's some awesome stuff and definitely worth a watch.
Yep, and tomorrow we start off at 10 a.m. with some Super Metroid and Super Ghouls and Ghosts races. It's 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. I don't know what Eastern time would be, or European time, sorry. Then further on in the day, there's Metroid Zero Mission, and a few more Link to the Past randomizer runs, including a tournament and a crowd control race.
Oh, those crowd control races are so much fun. Nothing better than getting to mess directly with the racers. Well, any last words or comments that you'd like to share, Hupfin?
No, I just say thank everyone for watching. Thanks again to our runners, both on stream and just participating of their own accord. And GG to all of them. And thank you, Mr. Scruff, for co-coms.
Oh, always a pleasure. And thanks again for everyone that stopped by to watch. You guys have a wonderful one, and we'll catch you all on the flip.